So let's take a look at our crosshairs. So for people following, I'm actually on page 12 of the Mastery book. So this is my move the motif. So there's a couple of ways of doing this. I can hit the plus, so it works on an X-Y axis. The X is the horizontal, the Y is the vertical. So I can hit the plus, and it's actually moving my motif to the right. And you can actually hear the hoop and the arm are moving at the same time. I can do the same thing with the Y-axis. Now I'm moving it up. But there's also another way. So I'm going to go back to the default, just tap on those. I can take my motif and move it up. And I can move this to wherever I want. Now you'll see where obviously my X is 10 and my Y-axis is a negative 621. But that's where I want my motif. Let's take a look at this icon here. That puts it right back into the center. So that's a quick way of, oops, I moved it too far to the bottom or to the left or right. I almost call that a home button because it returns you to where your motif should be in the center. And this works on a breadcrumb. So I'm going to touch the eye, and we're going to go to the next one. Let's take a look at this one. That flips it from left to right. So as you can see the motif, I have two leaves over here. So if you watch those two leaves, it has flipped it on this side. So it takes it and flips it over. So that's a vertical flip. Again, I have the yellow around that icon. I'm now back to what it originally was. So this is a vertical one. This is a horizontal flip. Let's take a look at this one. This is used for resizing. Now the nice thing about this one is that it increases the height and the width proportionally. Now again, you notice that when I make any changes from the default, I have yellow around the icon, and my motif is getting larger. You can actually notice down here, this size here is increasing. I'm not increasing my stitching time, but you can watch I'm at 115.2 by 65.5. Now I'm at 116.2 by 66.1. Now the rule of thumb for increasing a motif is increase by 20% up or 20% down. You will not have good results if you go more than that. These designs have been digitized to have a 20% up or down tolerance. If you go more than 20%, you'll have gaps in the stitching, in your satin stitching, because it wasn't digitized to fill everything in. Say you're at 25% or 30%. The same reason for making this less than 80%, so you can only go 20% down. So if I went to 75%, I would have satin stitches stitching on top of each other because of the way it's been digitized. If you need something bigger or smaller than that 20%, I would go back to the company you bought it from and ask for a smaller size. Usually embroidery design companies, I know with OESD, which is an affiliate of Bernette, you can usually get up to 3 different sizes of any motif. Usually when you buy it, you get all 3 sizes. So you may have just loaded the incorrect size onto your USB stick, which we'll talk about in a minute. So 20% up or 20% down, that is your maximum increase or decrease. Also, if you've done that, if you've increased or decreased it, please test out your design. Stitch it out. There are those who test and those who wish they had tested. So if I want to go back to the default, I don't have to minus down. I can just touch that and I'm back to 100%. Okay. So we've already looked at this. This flips it horizontally. Let's take a look at this button. So this is the angle of my design. Right now it's at 0 degrees. Let's say I want to go 90. So now it's straight up and down. But maybe I want to be at a 45. So I'm just going to arrow down. Now you can hear the arm of the embroidery machine is moving as I'm going down. So now my daisy's at a 45-degree angle. I'm just going to leave it there for now. Garbage can. I'm going to show you how to do that when we start adding additional levels or additional motifs. Very important to check. This will actually check to make sure your design or your motif fits inside of this hoop. So if I got my hoop on, yes I do. So it checks the left. Now I can go to the bottom left, bottom right, and the top. Do I want to check the center? And I can check the center. I highly recommend that you always check your motif to make sure it's going to be where you want on your quilt block, on your garment, whatever you're embroidering. Okay, let's go back. Let's check. These ones are disabled. I'm going to show you what those are when we get into adding monograms.